I don't even know what to say.
Oh, Jesus. What the hell is going on? I mean, what the hell is going on?
Well, folks, I'm making this video because, one, I work for Harley Davidson. I work at a dealership out here in Arizona. I am also a 13-year United States Marine disabled veteran. I fought in Iraq. I fought in Afghanistan. And after my career was over in the military, I transitioned back to the civilian world and became a Harley Davidson mechanic. I thought that was a really cool job. I thought it was really neat. Got to use my hands still. Felt like I was doing something that was important, providing a service to people that, you know, otherwise they couldn't be able to do. Not because they weren't physically capable of doing so, they just didn't have the time or didn't have the mechanical prowess to do it. I am trying my best to fight back all of the anger that I have. I have recorded this video probably 42 times in less than 4 hours because all I've done is spew hate and anger and curse words, because I'm trying to figure out a way to formulate what I want to say that is intelligent, gets the point home, and makes sense, and it's not just a bunch of jargon drabbling on. So let's get down to the brass tacks. All right, I gave you my background of how I came to be and why I do what I do. Well, now you're going to find out why I'm taking such an issue with my current CEO right now for my brand that I work for, Harley Davidson. See, I spent quite a bit of my time in the military, probably about 3 years to 4 years of my time, legitimately. If you count the days spent in country out of my service, probably 3 to 4 years was spent overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan. Well, my CEO thinks it's clever and coy to call himself the Taliban of sustainability. Now, where am I getting that information from? Well, I'm glad you asked, because right over here in the corner, right above my huge bald dome that's probably blinding most of you, you're going to see like the little scrunched up version of what Jeremy from the Quartering is reporting from what Robbie Starbuck has broke to everybody. And since it's really difficult for you guys to see this stuff, but a lot of the comments that I've been receiving is that you guys would rather see my face instead of just this big screen and me shrunk over here on the side, I'll read this out to you. Every Harley Davidson rider is going to want to see this. It sure sounds like the CEO, Jochen Zeitz, admits that he took the Harley job because it was an opportunity to transform an American icon into embracing the wokeness and DEI. Embracing wokeness and DEI. Read the quotes below carefully. He said this at a Synergos David Rockefeller Leadership Award event. The name sound familiar to anybody? Rockefeller?
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Synergos says they work to dismantle systems that create the most urgent problems of our time: social injustice and climate change. Doesn't that just scream Harley Davidson? Because everybody at Harley Davidson has always been worried about climate change and social injustice. Well, he goes on to keep babbling on about how this is awesome and all this other nonsense. And one of the things that really frustrates me the most about it is that there's a term that he is very proud to hold himself with. And that term, if I could find where he actually states that he has done that, but it's a pain in the booty, right here. So this particular article right here is not going to say exactly what it is. Well, let me rephrase that. This particular article is going to illustrate a snapshot of all the different interviews that Zeitz has done, where he is basically doubled down on saying that he is the Taliban of sustainability. And he wants to, you know, take this Harley Davidson challenge and bring it into the inclusivity age. Because it's important to worry about what your skin color is when you're riding a motorcycle, as well as whether or not you're the right sex or gender or pronouns or whatever. So I read this and I saw that my CEO thinks it's cute to refer to himself as the Taliban
Emotional damage.
sustainability. Maybe I'm just, being sensitive. Maybe I'm just being overreactive to the whole thing. But you can kick rocks, Jochenseits. All right? You're German-born, German-raised, German ideology, and you come over and you take a American company and you want to import all these wonderful ideas that have nothing to do with America and slam it down our throats. You're good, dude. You need to take a long walk off a short pier and find another business to run into the ground because Harley Davidson is American, man. Sorry. You and all your clowns that you've assembled on your board of directors can all shove it, as far as I'm concerned, because nobody in the Harley community gives a damn about any of that stuff. All right? The only thing they care about is your bike running? Do you enjoy riding it? Are you going to the next bike night? Where can we go to rip a lot of twisties on our bike? Where can that go? That's what we're talking about here. What you're talking about has nothing to do with Harley. He goes on in one of these articles. It speaks that he's gone. Oh, here it is, right here. Let's see here. A few minutes later in the same speech, Zeitz referred to the terror group again, as shown in the video that Starbucks shared this week. Of course, Harley's all about the sound and the smell of the Harley Davidson, isn't it? Zeitz said to attendees at the Chic Swiss conference. Let me tell you something. Nobody gives a fuck about the sounds and smells of Harley as their top two things that they are caring about. Now, if you're referring to the sound of the exhaust because we've done things to change the displacement of the engine, maybe beefed up the cam because it has a higher lobe profile now, so it has a sharper chop to it, then yes, those are the sounds that you're talking about that people associate with Harley Davidsons. Smells? Sure as f*** not one of those things, because your bike shouldn't be smelling. First and foremost, shouldn't smell like gas, shouldn't smell like oil, shouldn't smell like brake fluid that's burning on anything that's hot on your motorcycle. Damn sure shouldn't smell like anything at all. But apparently that's some random census that he did, and that was the number one thing along with sound. Now, if you're coming from the opposite side of the spectrum where you don't like Harley Davidson and you don't like the motorcycle brand because people like to make the bike loud, obnoxious, so you can hear them coming down the road from miles away, then I can understand why you say that, Harley Davidson's all about the sound and the smell, yeah? The sounds and the smell, yeah? That's what Harley is always known for, yeah? Fucking moron. Sure. So what I think he's talking about is the thing that people bitch about the most about Harley Davidsons.
They just smell so bad when they go down the road. It just stinks. Dab, yeah.
Oh, that bike is so loud. These bikers, they just come down the road and you just, wow. So noisy.
Then fuck off. Fuck off. All right, just go somewhere else if you don't like it. Okay? You don't like it? Go somewhere else. Roll your windows up. People have the right to ride motorcycles. People have the right to make them as loud as they want to within the reason of the law. I mean, the law specifically states how loud the motorcycle can be. And if you go over the decibel,
coming for you,
you'll get a ticket for it. Ask anybody that's ever been to Daytona Bike Week. They are like crazy obsessive about pulling people over for decibel breach. I mean, it doesn't matter. You go over I don't know. I think they actually reduced it. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn that 94 decibels, I think, is what it used to be that your exhaust could be, but it's well over that. So yeah, I've been sitting on the fence about how outwardly upset I want to make this video, or how outwardly upset I want to be in this video, because I still work for Harley. I'm still out on short-term disability on Harley because of my shoulder surgery. And there's a workman's comp claim I'm going to have to make later on because my manager yelled my name and I snapped my freaking neck, and one of the bones in the back of my neck snapped off. Getting old is not for the faint of heart. I'll just put it like that. Especially when you rode your body hard and put it away wet and smoking into retirement. It's not going to last long. And I lived pretty hard when I was younger. So what are you going to do? I just, where do I go from here? Where do I go? When October comes around and it's October 25th and these guys are doubling down or tripling down or quadrupling down on their policies and they're not budging 1 inch, because it seems like all Harley's going to do is disable comments and any kind of responses that they can get and just stick their head in the sand and wait for everything to blow over. Well, Bud Light tried that and they still haven't recovered. Even after they made the apology, people are not forgetting anymore whenever you declare that you're an enemy of the country of the United States of America that they live in. And doing things like this, tearing down iconic institutions that have been synonymous with America since 1903, you're highest of fives to you. You've got the biggest of brains. Truly. Truly. And, you know, the only way this stops is if enough Americans put their brains together, put pressure on your governors to start pushing back against the federal government. I know. Everybody needs to go back to history class back in the early years, like from 5th grade, probably all the way up until the senior year of high school, and relearn all the different parts of government and really understand how it has been just laziness and sheer unwillingness to be an American that cares about your country and cares about your kids. And we've let it go to the federal government, and they have taken over. And now they're talking about they want to govern the prices of food. Anyway, folks, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking around and hearing an angry man yell about Harley Davidson and how disappointing they are as a brand now that they've taken this role.